decided that we design the solution that suits us. And that solution is that everything we do, since they make our country and our land very uncomfortable for us, we will bring our freedom from diaspora. And that's what we're doing today. So the enabling environment that was not created for us in Biafra land, the different countries where we reside have created an environment, and we are struggling to bring this kind of system back to our people for them to live like human beings. So we will always outsmart the terrorist state of Nigeria.
Only one, under his leadership, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Anybody that is confusing anyone or telling you there is another, no, there is nothing. There's just one, recognized by His Excellency Simon Ekpa. And we can pray. Once he has that communication, Biafrans, we understand that Obato Obie does not take no crap from nobody. No matter who you are, you must respect that authority. That authority is the only thing that can protect all of us. But we thank God, somebody said this is a transition period. If these things does not happen, Biafrans will not know who is following our prime minister, who wants him to fail, who wants him to be out. So this moment is ordained to happen so that Biafrans will know who is who.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing program. Thank you so much for joining us once again on this platform. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. Please like and share this program. And remember, this platform where you are watching this program is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform that stands with the United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the Supreme Command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, under the control of Deputy Prime Minister COS Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, we bring information from the right source, the United States of Biafra, the government of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. Wherever you are watching this program from, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiama to like and share. Information is power. Remember, our Prime Minister encouraged us to engage in radical evangelism. Our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us to carry everybody along. In doing that, you must help us to share this video. Like and share to family and friends and to every platform where you belong. This information is important.
We are looking at the call for compulsory sit at home in the Southeast on May 30th this year to commemorate and celebrate the fallen heroes of the Biafra War. Now, let's bring in our guest, and I am joined in the studio here in Lagos by Mr. Peter Anosike. Now, Peter is a seasoned reporter, journalist, he is a philosopher as well as a development economist. He's a prolific author who has written so many books, including the 10 Commandments on Money by Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. Good evening, Peter, and welcome to Political
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I hope I got the title of your book correct.
You said Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money.
Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money.
Yes.
So I was very correct on that. Now, let's get right into the show. Now, the indigenous people of Biafra has declared a sit-at-home on May 30, 2025. This is to honor Biafran men and women who died during the Biafran War. IPOB said the sit-at-home is a yearly memorial, noting that it was a way to remember Biafran heroes and heroines. The group said it informed the Southeast and South-South governors about the plan. IPOB spokesperson Emma Powerful, in a statement on Monday, said the day will include lectures in honor of Biafran heroes, both in Nigeria and abroad. The statement reads, in part, the peak of the yearly memorial remembrance event will occur on May 30, 2025, known as the Biafra Heroes Memorial Day. It is a day designated by IPOB for Biafrans to commemorate and pay tribute to our heroes, heroines, and those who sacrificed their lives in the struggle for Biafra's liberation and independence. IPOB leadership has announced that May 30, 2025 will be a free day, marking a total lockdown for Biafrans residing in Biafra land. Biafrans residing in Biafra land should observe a lockdown to pay tribute to those who battled and perished in the Nigerian genocidal war against Biafra, while Biafrans fought for our independence. We need to commemorate them by spending one day indoors. We urge all Biafrans and every advocate of freedom in Biafra land to comply with this one-day lockdown directive on May 30, 2025. All IPOB family members in their various countries must organize and obtain permits to demonstrate against the unlawful imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the illegal detention of Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria. Now, for the sake of clarity, this is not VOP media saying, this is coming from the Ima Powerful, the spokesperson of IPOB. It added, there will be no school, no community meetings, no religious services, no opening of markets and stores, and no public assemblies of any kind. Simply stay inside and enjoy television and videos with your family while contemplating the memories and the genocide inflicted upon Biafrans from 1967 to the present day. It is a day for families to recount their experiences of the Biafran genocidal war from 1967 to 1970 and the ongoing victimization, destruction, and marginalization of Ndibo within Nigeria. Well, IPOB has contacted, according to the statement, IPOB has contacted West African Examination Council, WAEC, to inform them of the lockdown directive on 30th of May, so they can modify the May-June senior school certificate examination exams scheduled to serve all students. Messages have also been dispatched to the governors in the Southeast and South-South regions to notify them that we will remember and pay tribute to our heroes and heroines who sacrificed everything for us with a lockdown mandate on May 30, 2025. The group said there will be no protest in Biafra land or any part of Nigeria to avoid violence from security forces. Notice, no protest will take place in Biafra or anywhere in Nigeria to prevent being harmed by the lethal Nigerian security forces. Biafrans abroad will gather in the streets of their host countries or organize town hall meetings to express their support in honor of our fallen heroes and advocating for the restoration of Biafra. IPOB and Ndibo across the globe will pay tribute to all our fallen heroes and heroines, including our everlasting leader, the late Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, General Philip F. Young, Chief Dr. Frank Opigo, Commander Ikonso, and numerous others who significantly contributed and fought to avert the genocide and destruction of Biafrans by Nigerian and British governments, along with their allied forces. Every year on May 30th is a significant day for all Biafrans. It's a public holiday for every citizen and non-citizen of Biafra living in the Biafran territory. IPOB prioritizes the well-being of Ndibo and has discovered methods to prevent the Nigerian state from killing our people as we continue to remember and celebrate our heroes. The lockdown will last from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the said day. Only essential workers like doctors, nurses, journalists, ambulance drivers, police, firefighters, and field workers are allowed to go out during the lockdown. Mr. Anosike, this is more like a comprehensive overview of what is likely to happen on the 30th of May this year. It's become a ritual for the Biafran people, even without the IPOB coming out to say that. I spoke to Dr. Ekemeze in the morning show on the morning show in the morning, and he said, look, IPOB doesn't even need to call because it's more like a ritual. It's taken for granted that in Biafra land, they use 30th May every year to celebrate and commemorate the heroes, people that paid the supreme sacrifice with their lives between 1967 and 1970. Now, the direct question is, IPOB has declared May 30, 2025 as Biafra Commemoration Day and called for total lockdown of the Southeast from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with schools, markets, and streets shut down. Now, the people of Southeast have always traditionally celebrated May 30th as Biafra Day to honor those that died during the Biafra War. Must the celebrations come with a sit-at-home order that cripples the entire region?
Well, going by the history of the Civil War, those people ought to be remembered.
Okay.
But what I'm not in support is the compulsory lockdown. Understand me? You don't force people to do what is not in their mind. Understand me?
Okay.
Just like Christmas, Christians remember the birth of Jesus.
Okay.
But there's no compulsion on anybody. You must not do this. You must not do that. Now, IPOB is a non-state actor. But this is coming like a decree. Okay, children are supposed to take WAEC on that day. So what happens? This WAEC is the West African Examination Council. And it is the same paper that those in the southeast, south, southwest, northeast, and so on and so would take.
It's a West African thing.
So there's no way WAEC will use because of IPOB or Biafra Day and they shelf the exam. That's number one. Okay, there's no way if the students in the southeast miss it, they will not give them another day to retake that paper. They will not be given another day to retake that paper, which means because of this compulsory
sit at home,
those children are going to miss that paper. And it's going to it is going to affect them in the future.
Okay, Mr. Anosike, before we get into all of that about how it's going to affect the WAEC or what, let us interrogate these things. Does it have a cultural bearing? I ask this question in the light of the fact that in the community where I come from, if somebody dies in our village, if somebody dies, an elderly person, or not just an elderly person, a man that has come of age, maybe like say between 30, anybody that is above the age of 35, if the person dies. Now, in my community, we observe a day of mourning for the person. And on that day of mourning, people don't go to farm and all of that.
What of schools?
No, schools are open. So I'm asking whether does it have a cultural rooting that the IPOB said, look, let's go back. I don't know if this happens in your community as well, but I know that it's, is interspersed in several communities in the Southeast. So are they trying to go back to take us back to history to say, look, if we have to set aside one day to celebrate our heroes, does it not, conventional wisdom, shouldn't it dictate that, look, we observe a day of mourning for the people that died during the war? So is there anything practically wrong with the cultural synergy, the cultural nexus between having to mourn the dead and saying, look, let's stay away from work on that day? Like most people that are Catholics, on Good Friday, they observe it as a holiday of obligation. They don't go to work. They don't even go to farm and all of that.
And some don't eat meat.
And some don't eat meat. So what are the cultural similarities between what IPOB is trying to do in the modern time, and how does that, bring some kind of relevance to mourning the dead in the present time?
As I said in the beginning, these people, they fought war of resistance.
Okay.
Going by what caused the Civil War
itself.
So they ought to be remembered.
Okay.
They ought to be remembered. But what I'm against is the way the IPOB is now trying to do it. Understand? Because there's a saying that you are right, ends where another person's own begins. Okay. Understand? So this issue of compulsory, and you're not a state actor, understand me, declaring that you must not go to church, you must not go to work, you must stay in your house. Even students who are supposed to take WAEC should not go. I'm strongly against it.
Okay, I understand your position. You are against it. A lot of Nigerians or a lot of people from the Southeast are also against it. Now, let's interrogate the role of IPOB. And you keep calling them non-state actors. Now, don't you think that is because... No, they are not state actors. But I want us to situate it within the context of the state actors, creating a vacuum that apparently allow the non-state actors to fill in, because you discover that on Mondays, traditionally, in the past 4 years or so in the Southeast, on Mondays, governors say, no, you must come out. The police is going to protect you and all of that. And IPOB, or a faction of the IPOB back then, before Nnamdi Kanu said enough of all this. And now those non-state actors were like, no, you don't need to come out. And people were obeying the non-state actors. So was there a vacuum created by the leadership of the Southeast to have allowed these people to take that position?
The issue is this. If we go back to the origin of this sit at home, mind the first sit at home in Nigeria did not happen in the Southeast. Okay. It was in Lagos that it happened in 2006. Okay. August 2006. And it was announced by Chief Ralph Owazirike. Okay. So then it was under Obasanjo that the first sit at home happened in Lagos, not even in the Southeast. Because
in respect to what?
In respect of this discrimination against the Easterners.
Okay.
Understand me?
So Ralph Wazirike called for the Easterners in Lagos to sit at home.
Yes, all the markets were shut.
Were shut, okay.
All the markets were, it was a total shutdown of all the major markets in Lagos State. Okay. Then Obasanjo tried to defend it. Obasanjo said that Igbos travel for their mass return in August.
Okay.
Understand? That the sit at home was not a success. But we knew what really happened.
Okay.
And this IPOB, that's MASOB and IPOB, we are built from Mahatma Gandhi's non-violence
resistance.
Yeah, resistance. Because sitting at home is a form of protest.
Okay. Understand
me? So, and Ralph Wazirike schooled in New Delhi University.
In India, okay.
In India. So he studied Mahatma Gandhi, understand, his own form of protest. That is why MOSOB was a non-violent organization, which Nnamdi Kanu also copied when he broke away from MOSOB.
Okay.
So they have been practicing this non-violent using their own sit at home, because if you come out to the street, you might be harmed.
Okay.
Understand me? So they choose that. But what I'm struggling against is making it compulsory. Understand? They are still Nigeria is a sovereign state. Okay. We cannot have two sovereignties
in one state.
In one state, there can never be two kings in a kingdom.
Okay.
Understand me? So this is what everybody should be given their kind of the 30th of May. We are going to remember our fallen heroes.
Okay. It is good to commemorate it, but people shouldn't be forced to
respect them by don't go to work, don't go to the farm. Understand me? Stay in your house and remember them.
Okay, you just raised another talking point now, and the fact that it has started in 2000.
Yes, here in Lagos.
And about you were in Lagos then.
I was in Lagos.
Been on success.
Yes.
In your own estimation,
all the major markets in Lagos were shut down for that reason.
Okay, can you estimate the economic impact it had on Lagos?
Billions now, billions. Because in Andaba great space, billions are made on a daily basis. Understand me? So it has a very serious economic impact. Then here in Lagos. Understand me? And then Wazirike was receiving a dictator. So it was when he now relocated to the east that he now carried this thing down to the east. Before he broke away with Nnamdi Kanu. But even on that day, Igbo decided to hit to Wazirike's goal.
And I'm glad to see that.
Yes, because they felt that the Obasanjo regime was anti-Igbo. So that was why. But it was not compulsory.
Now you have raised another talking point. Both feeling that Obasanjo's regime was
anti-Igbo church.
But we are not going to get into all of that because that will be a discussion.
So now let's reason why it's succeeded in Lagos.
Now before we talk about the impact of the over the past year, I want us to look at the issue of this lockdown coming on the day that students are writing exams. I recall that like 4 years ago. I recall that 4 years ago, my son, was writing YA, and that day happened to be the day they wrote mathematics. And I recall that some of his mates were unable to write mathematics that day because we had to make arrangements for him to go 10-year school to be able to write the exam. And a lot of people lose that examination. And go have to go repeat another year, like this year again, the thing is falling on the 30th of May. So now the question is, how much of that impacts on how does that affect the struggle for self-government? If you are trying to rescue the people, you You are trying to break away people who are possibly or according to you oppressed, and you are on the other hand oppressing the same people. So how much does that impact on the struggle for self-determination in the Southeast?
For me, the vacuum there between 1967 and 1970 has not been filled in the bureaucracy in Nigeria. Mind you, between 1967 and 1970, schools were shut down in the Southeast. We didn't graduate anybody. At that point in time, Obafemi Awolowo, that University of Ife, University of Ibadan, and ABU, we are graduating students for 3 years. Productivity was shut down in the South. This vacuum has not been filled up to today. So when you hear that the permanent secretaries, most of them are not from the South, that Igbos are not there, that's one of the reasons. When you hear that in the judiciary that Igbos are not there, that's part of it.
Peter, are you sure of what you're saying?
Very, very well.
Because at the point the gap was closed by the time we were in the middle. Peter, by the time, okay, in terms of number of people that write down, now which state does highest in Nigeria?
Which South?
Okay, in Nigeria as a whole, which state does the highest number?
I say South.
Okay, Southeast. And so it's been like that since I was in university over 40 years ago. You know, so if you say that gap exists because we haven't closed it, a lot of people will disagree with you because they will think that it is a clear case of exclusion. You know, how many of you your classmates that came from the University of Nigeria went to Federal Secretariat in Lagos in Abuja to fill a form into Igbo people? They do apply for those jobs. Do they get those jobs?
The people already there are bringing their own people. Understand me? Those who are
so
there
it's
already.
Clearly not because it's clearly a case of exclusion, not because we don't have the manpower to fill those spots.
There was a
gap. The gap has been closed.
When that gap was existing, those people we are putting their own people from that's from the first up to the up. Understand me?
Okay.
So that's why when you go to the judiciary, when you go to the civil service, how many Igbo men have been head of service in the country?
Okay, Peter, that's another talking point that we could also expand another day. Now, let's go back to the issue. The police have denied knowledge of any sit-at-home order by IPOB and assured residents to go about their normal businesses. Are you sure that the police is well able to protect the people in the face of those who may try to enforce the order? I ask this question in light of the fact that on several occasions, governors of the Southeast have said, like Enugu State Governor, at a point, Peter Mba said, look, come out, I'm going to protect you, I'm going to send in the police and all of that. Meanwhile, we understand that an armored personnel carrier was situated in some business concerns, places that the governor has interest in and all of that. And on the day that the people came out, I think about 3 people were killed somewhere in Ogbete Market, and the people recoiled. Now, the police making this comment that, look, they are not aware of this order, and I've asked people. Anyway, to be very fair to them, they said police will not go to anybody's house to bring out a person. But if anybody comes out, the person will be protected. Now, if you observe, on Mondays, traditionally on Mondays, all the checkpoints within the Southeast, you don't find any of them. So what is the role of the police in protecting the people in hard times, in times of insecurity like this?
Nigeria is that the United Nations standard for policing is 1 policeman for 400 people. Understand? 1 policeman for 400 people. But in Nigeria, we are looking at 1 policeman for 8,000 people.
Okay.
So we don't have up to 2 million policemen in this country.
We have about 330,000.
For a population of what? Over 220 million. You see, so we are under police.
Okay.
We are under police, and it is, and apart from being under police, most of the over 40% of the Nigerian police are with the VIPs. You can see an individual having 10 mobile policemen. So this is one of the reasons. So that's why the Nigerian people don't trust the governors when they say come out, police would protect you.
Okay.
Understand me? So for me, my concern, my prayer is that they should make, if they say there should be no market, there should be no people going to the farm, but there should be an exception for the students going to take their exams.
Okay.
Because I know that most of these people enforcing this don't have their BSc.
Okay.
Because
don't have their 4 degrees.
If you go to, you know what to pass through school.
Yes.
You will not stop another person from going to school.
Probably losing 1 year.
Losing 1 year. So I'm sure that,
like the instance I cited, that day was the day they wrote mathematics. And
which
so,
is the most critical of all subjects.
Of all subjects.
Without mathematics, you cannot study anything science.
Science, yes.
So for me, there must be an exception.
Okay.
And if the federal government can help us and draft more soldiers, more policemen to the southeast,
okay,
so to ensure that children will go and take their exams.
Okay, but a lot of people are calling for demilitarization of the southeast, and you're asking the federal government.
No. This is a special case.
Okay, this is a special case.
This is a special case.
Don't you think it's going to cause some form of anarchy or bedlam in the southeast? I mean, if police people are everywhere and IPOB, those people that try to enforce it, when there's a clash, what is going to be the outcome? What's going to be the result?
The students must be protected.
Okay, the students must be protected.
I'm
happy that you brought in the federal government in this. Now let's interrogate the reason that even led to the sit-at-home order in the first instance. You know, because it started with the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, and the people of the southeast were like, okay, this is our son, is one of our worthy sons who's been fighting for us. Now let us even, stand behind him and observe the sit-at-home order. How much responsibility should the federal government take for what has become of insecurity in the southeast, especially with regard to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu? What Nnamdi Kanu is undergoing now, is it prosecution or is it persecution? And why is it difficult for the federal government to look into the reason why the people of the southeast are agitating? People of the southeast, a lot of them are not in a hurry to exit this country. And they say, why don't you make it open for us, conduct a referendum, let us decide whether we still want to be part of this country or not, part of this union or not. And the federal government is not yielding to that request. So how much responsibility should the federal government take? Because it looks like they're like, well, whatever you do in your southeast, if you want to kill all of yourself, that's your business. How much responsibility should the federal government take for what the southeast has become in terms of insecurity?
Well, let me give you a mindset. Remember when President Tinubu went to River State to commission a road under when Nyesom Wike was the governor.
Okay.
Nyesom Wike asked for a refund that he constructed a federal road. Tinubu said, I'm not going to give you a refund. You constructed a road for your people. Do you understand me? Okay. You constructed a road for your people. It's your people that are living there.
Who said?
Tinubu says so.
Tinubu?
Yes.
Told Nyesom Wike?
Yes.
So,
Tinubu went there to commission a road.
Okay, before he was sworn in as president.
Yes.
At that time, Wike was still a substantive governor.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
So, Wike asked for a refund. Understand me? That time, Wike was inviting many APC governors
to come and commission projects.
Understand me? Sure. So he said that that this is a federal road, that he wants a refund. Tinubu said, I'm not going to give you a refund. If you are people that are living there, you constructed a road for your own people. So this is the mindset which the Nigerian state have been using in the southeast. All that Adigo man is asking for, live and let live.
Okay.
That's what Igbo people are asking in Nigeria.
A level playing field.
That's an egalitarian society where everybody can be free to do his or her own business. Understand me? But they don't want it. And that's the problem
So
now.
isn't that part of the reason that is fueling the agitation for self-determination?
If Nigeria is working, if Nigeria begins to work today, this self-agitation will die down.
Yes, because I've spoken to a lot of well-meaning people of the Southeast, and they are like, I mean, if we have, I mean, they are more like, Nigeria should be a living space for the Igbo nation, for everybody. I mean, we ply our trade in places that we go to, we develop the communities, we intermarry with the people, we take those places as our homes and even develop those places. But why is it that when it comes to the issue of resource distribution, we are excluded? And even at that, I'm not the one speaking. People that I've spoken to are like, why don't you just make the place open for people to compete freely?
Live and let live.
Everybody wants to be part of this country because of the diversity, the strength of that diversity, which they are able to